Hello and happy Friday, friends. I'm excited today. This will be a first. I met, quote unquote, a new friend in my Facebook neighborhood group. I put out the word that I was looking for interesting and talented professionals to interview on the show. I devoted a lot of my early interviews to fellow content creators, and they've gone on now to do bigger and better things than they might have been doing way back when. So it occurred to me that it might be fun to just find some regular people in my neighborhood, people that, maybe I know them in real life, maybe I don't. I feel like I'll know Brett a little bit better after today's interview. So we're going to learn a lot of things about him together. He was among the first people to respond when I put the post up in my neighborhood group. Let me check my mic levels. You guys know how the computer tends to turn down the input. And then if I go back and watch streams, it must have opened it on this other monitor. I go back and watch streams and I can barely hear what I'm saying. Yeah, it's over here. Sound. All right, it's turned down a little bit. So you can always let me know if it's a little bit too loud. I think I'd rather it be too loud than not loud enough, because you can always turn it down on your end. All right, so that's done. Let's pull this over here. Shout out again to ChatGPT, who helped me figure out what kind of questions to ask this particular guest, because I know so little about what he used to do. He's retired from the job that we'll talk about primarily today, but when we talk about what he's transitioning to in a new career, you guys will know that I'm even more excited about that one. So without further ado, and let me, I don't hear the music at all. Let me turn that up a little bit. Okay, again, you can let me know if the music's too loud, if it's not loud enough. Let me bring up Brett McCain from my Facebook neighborhood group. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. Tell us where you are geographically. You don't have to give an address, but
I am in very North Fort Worth, pretty much Keller.
Okay. And have you been here like your whole life? Did you grow up in this area?
I grew up in Grapevine.
Okay, that's close.
I went
That's
to Grapevine
close
High
enough.
School. I've lived here in the Keller area for about 10 years.
Okay. And when did you become a cosmetic/pharmaceutical chemist?
Well, it was kind of by accident. I went to college in the mid 90s to go to pre-med, and I went through all that, had ulcers, a lot of stress to do that pre-med. And then I took the MCAT, I interviewed at a couple medical schools, and I just didn't like what I heard. And so from there, I went into an entry-level microbiology position at a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
It was a lot of repetitive work, technician type job.
Okay.
And then I just moved from there into quality control, and then I kind of just got wound up in research and development, and it's kind of an on-the-job training. There's not much of a formal training for that. It's kind of taught in the companies that you work at. So.
Okay. Back in the day when you were pre-med, did you have dreams of a certain specialty in medicine?
I did. I wanted it to be internal medicine, and I wanted to have like a community clinic, that kind of thing. And like I said, I went to med school interviews and just did not like it. Sounded like a business.
Yeah.
And it was a lot about how money is, given out and how it's spent, that kind of thing. It didn't seem like it was about medicine. It seemed like it was like a business class.
Yeah. Here's what we expect so you can make money for us.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm afraid that's just kind of healthcare in a nutshell these days.
Yes.
Long gone are the general practitioner days where house calls, things where it really was about treating patients and serving people. And now it really has turned into just an opportunity to make money. I'm not saying anything bad about professionals in medicine or healthcare, because I think all of them initially go in like you did because you wanted to serve people and you wanted to heal people. And it's unfortunate that now it's turned into, malpractice insurance and marketing and,
how much money are you making in the hospital?
Yeah. How much can we get out of you? So
seemed to kind of forgot about the patients and the people. So.
Yeah. But did it end up being a blessing that you sort of fell into?
It did.
Okay.
Well, one thing, the pay was better, being a lab technician. And then as you go, as you learn and create things and upscale them to production level, you just become more valuable to the companies. So
okay,
it's a very niche job. There's not many places you can work.
Well,
so
I don't think
moving around early on.
Yeah, I don't think I had ever even heard that term, cosmetic chemist.
Right.
Now, pharmaceutical chemist, that sort of makes sense to me because I automatically assume there's a lot of chemistry that goes into compounding medications and knowing about different, ingredients and such in medications. But a cosmetic chemist, that really did pique my interest when you said in your response to my post that that's what you used to do. But tell us, what does that really mean? What does a cosmetic and pharmaceutical chemist do?
Pharmaceutical is more, you have to follow the FDA guidelines, and it's more focused and more detailed, I guess. Cosmetic, you can kind of just free reign.
Nice.
You can just make formulations and see if the customer likes them, and just make sure they're stable and can be produced at mass, large quantity. I enjoyed cosmetic more than pharmaceutical.
That was my next question. Which one did you enjoy more? And do you think it relates even sort of to a similar concept, that because it really put you more directly, it really connected you more directly with the people on the other side?
Yeah, I was definitely customer facing. We would meet with marketing, would come to us, and then we'd talk and we'd formulate and make it like a prototype, I guess, and then we would meet with the customers, which was nice.
So what inspired you to pursue a science-based?
Growing up, my uncle was a NASA engineer, and he just as a child, I remember being interested in space and space shuttle, and I always watched the science, the nerdy channels growing up. And I excelled in math and science, and that's just where I just went.
Nice. So you said you went to Grapevine High School. Is that the one off of 26 near the Krispy Kreme? Okay.
It is, right there. Yeah.
The Mustangs?
Mustangs, that's correct.
Did you play any sports growing up?
No, I was in FFA.
Okay.
I showed cattle, and we had a little small family farm ranch in Colleyville that we sold many years ago, but I mostly did that. I was in like an officer in the group in the FFA and that kind of thing, and I learned a lot from that. People think FFA you're going to be a farmer, but you learn about public speaking, you learn about a lot of economics,
organizing and managing. Yeah.
Right.
So do you still have a lot of animals now?
No. The last. My family has about 1,000 acres out near Brownwood, Texas, and we had some cattle on there. And that drought about 3-4 years ago, we got out of the cattle business because it was just there's no water.
Yeah,
like our ponds, dried up, and it cost too much to ship in water.
Oh yeah, well, and then that impacts everything, hay and everything hurts because of that. So I want to talk specifically about because I'm very intrigued at the concept of a cosmetic chemist. And let's talk about when you're developing a new product, how does that process begin? Does somebody pitch an idea to you? Do you read something somewhere and think, oh, I wonder if there's a way to expound on that or improve that? Or
Yeah, kind of in the downtime, we could create our own products in a way, downtime, which just meant staying late. But it's mostly customer driven and marketing driven, honestly. And that's a good and a bad thing. Sometimes customers don't really know what they want. That was kind of frustrating. And marketing, they promised them the world and that kind of thing. But it's always, do it the best, do it high quality and cheap.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge, but yeah, it was mostly customer and marketing driven.
And just as an aside, after 40 years in healthcare, I can tell you a lot of patients are the same way. They don't know what they want, but they want it cheap. Yeah.
Right.
So whichever direction you had gone, you would have dealt with a little bit of that at least.
Right.
What's one ingredient in your experience and opinion that you think people perceive as some sort of miracle, but it's actually very limited in what it can do, even though it's been hyped, or for whatever reason people think it's a miracle ingredient?
Let me think about that. I think a retinol that's not a retinol. It's like another molecule that they claim the body turns into retinol, but it's very low dose, and I don't think it's very effective. But when something says retinol on the packaging and it's packaged like in an airtight container, that's probably the real stuff.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
And at this point in history, people automatically just associate that name with, amazing results and,
right.
High quality. And on the flip side of that, what's an ingredient or a practice that is very underrated and it works really well, but it doesn't get enough credit?
I think even the midline lotions are good products, and moisturizing your skin every day makes a huge difference.
Okay.
I've seen that in clinical trials, and just using a simple product is very effective, just for moisturizing and wrinkle control and that kind of thing.
Okay. Good old soap and water and moisturizer, huh?
Right.
Yeah. So I know you touched on pharmaceutical chemistry, maybe being a little more focused on the FDA and just the regulatory side of things.
Now, cosmetic had FDA too, but it was much more standoffish, I guess.
Okay. I was just going to ask, what's the balance between what you saw or what you know about how tight the regulations are? So it's a lot more lax. I mean, I don't mean to say in a dangerous way, but
right.
You don't have to be more obsessed with.
Yeah, the pharmaceuticals, since they're drugs, they're regulated by the FDA completely. So there's you can only use certain active ingredients at certain purity levels. You can only use certain other ingredients that goes in the drug. And like I said, it's very focused, because if you kind of go outside the lines and think outside the box, then you have a new drug, and that costs a fortune to get through the FDA, and stability and all kinds of things you have to do with it.
Okay.
So cosmetics was much more enjoyable.
And did you ever create or develop a cosmetic product that was brand new?
I worked, I guess I can say this now, my NDA's up. Let me think. Yeah, I worked with L'Oreal a lot, and a lot of their products are made at contract manufacturers in regional areas, so they don't have to make everything in Paris or New York and ship it everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I helped a lot with the SkinCeuticals line. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's kind of a higher end. It was a brand on its own, and then L'Oreal saw them as a competitor, so they bought them.
Okay. Wow.
Which they do a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I am familiar with that brand name.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I worked on that. It's legit. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think the biggest misconceptions are that people have about ingredients in skincare? What do people assume about it?
the term organic really means nothing in a cosmetic setting. Organic is a USDA designation. And so when you hear the word organic in marketing, I'd be a little weary that they're trying to sell you something.
Okay.
Now, there is organically grown like seed oils and that kind of thing. They use moisturizers. But just blatantly calling the whole formula organic is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, clean beauty and natural products, what do those kind of terms really mean from the perspective of a cosmetic chemist, the people that are actually working with the ingredients?
Natural is usually naturally derived. That doesn't mean, it's been processed in a way from a natural source. And right now, the hot word is sustainable. Okay. So if you buy palm oil, let's say, from a farmer in Africa or wherever, South America, they like it to be good for that area, like where they only buy things that are sustainable and to contribute to the.
Okay.
Yeah, but natural means there's a lot of surfactants like soaps, I guess, that are naturally derived. Some of them from like corn starch, and then a lot of things are petroleum derived, which I guess you could call natural.
Yeah.
But that's like a lot of the detergents that are used in shampoos and things are derived from ethylene, which is a petroleum product.
I don't know if I needed to know that. I don't know why that makes me feel gross, but that kind of makes me feel gross.
Yeah, it's safe. It's just people don't like to hear that.
Okay. If you could bust one myth or share one piece of advice to people who consume beauty products, what would it be?
Expensive doesn't mean effective.
Oh, that's golden.
Yeah. A lot of products that are kind of midline, even some of the low range price things are good products. Like I'll tell people a lot that Swallow shampoo is the best cleanser there is.
Uh-huh.
But, if you want something like a specialty shampoo, for colored hair or something like that, that's better. But but it's more expensive. But yeah, there's some of the products we made that were being sold for $80 for like a unit was costing us $4 to manufacture and ship and everything.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's everywhere. I know that would not just be cosmetics, but I think there is such an emphasis on outward appearance in our culture that it's just probably easier to pull that off and make people go along with it.
Correct. Yeah, it's more of people see value in the cost they paid, I guess. Like
right.
That's
well, and I guess there is something kind of to that. I remember someone saying to me one time, this was again healthcare related. It had to do with fee for service and how do you set your prices when you're setting up a practice. Mm-hmm. And someone made a comment about people automatically like hear the word Mercedes. And they associate it with high quality, and that makes them more inclined to be willing to pay a higher price because they get that higher quality. And I think brands like L'Oreal, world renowned, they've been around long enough to have a reputation and a big following. And I think it's probably easier for them to charge what they might charge for their high end products, even if little, mom and pop face wash is the same ingredients and works just as well, but they're new and nobody's heard of them, and everybody's got to make a buck. I'm not anti-capitalist, so I get it. But how long were you a cosmetic well, let's see, how long were you a lab technician or did more of the pharmaceutical chemistry stuff?
That was around, let's see, I did that about 7 years.
Okay.
And then I did R&D cosmetic, I guess the remaining time that I worked, let's see, that'd be around 20, I guess.
Okay. That's hard when we get older, right? you have to think back to, wait, when was that year that my grandkid was born, or when was that year I had that bunion surgery, or when was that? Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, that's a good career though.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
Okay.
I saved away a little money and just I've moved on now, but it was a good career. I would encourage anyone that likes tinkering in the kitchen, when you're little, or like I tell people, my parents got me an Easy Bake Oven when I was a kid, and I became a chemist. And it wasn't just about cooking; it was about playing with things, and heat,
creating things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you ever at any point felt bad or sad that you didn't become a doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah. Which means that really was in your heart.
Right.
That just means it was really, in your heart.
And I think that's where I've kind of moved more toward now. So that's good.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I shared in my last stream last week because I like interviewed myself. ChatGPT asked me questions, and I answered. And among those questions was, what did I want to be when I grew up? And as far back as I can remember, I was going to be a doctor.
Nice.
There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I never did become a doctor.
Right. I
went into the dental field, so I kind of got some of that out of me. But again, I saw some of those same things that you talked about. It's about making money. It's not about patient satisfaction or employee satisfaction. It's about insurance headaches. It's about dealing again with a lot of people that they don't even know what they want, and they won't accept what they need, and they don't want to have to pay for it either way.
Right.
And I became a certified childbirth educator, which probably even fed that part of me a little bit more, so that I didn't feel as bad about it. But it's always right here in my head. It's always right here in my head. I don't guess it'll ever go away.
Right. It's kind of a lingering thing with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, I think it just means that it really was a calling. And if for any reason you can't answer a calling, it doesn't stop calling.
Right.
So just some fun questions now, though, about still looking at your chemist side.
Okay.
And cosmetic chemistry in particular. If you had your own signature product, a scent, a skincare product, what would it smell like? Like, do you have a favorite smell?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not really a lavender guy or sandalwood, those kind of woody fragrances. My favorite fragrance is the cheapest fragrance almost you can buy. And it's the gas station soap cherry almond.
Oh, that's awesome. That just means you're really down to earth. That's awesome. Okay.
That's my favorite fragrance.
Yeah. I'm thinking you're going to say leather or,
or smoke or something.
Cowhide or, something like that. Yeah. Yes, cigars.
That's always, even when I was a kid, I was like, man, God, it smells so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I think it was Jergens soap or Jergens lotion.
Okay. Like. Yeah, that's awesome. Second question, kind of in that same. Oh, were you going to say some more?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Second question, kind of in the same vein. You've got 10 minutes in the lab to make a new product with anything you want, no rules. What idea are you going to try first?
I'm interested in the botanical enzymes and proteins that they're kind of running across.
Okay.
I did some work early on with a melon enzyme that back in like 2007 that was like just newly found in this fruit, and it really reversed a lot of some aging on people. And then I pushed that so hard in where I work, and then Cindy Crawford signed on to a company that's using the exact stuff. And I was like, I told you we should have.
Oh, yeah.
And that was interesting, and a lot of these peptides and proteins that will actually, some of the things won't go through the skin because they're too high of a molecular weight.
Okay.
Which means they're just too big.
Okay.
But those kind of things are interesting to me. It'd be something like that, like a serum or maybe or anti-wrinkle, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. And is there a beauty trend or practice that secretly makes you cringe every time you hear about it or see a TikToker touting it? Or
I think when they tout cosmetics as supplements, in a way, because supplements aren't registered with the FDA at all.
Right, that's right.
And so they can claim like lots of things, and that makes me crazy.
Yeah,
but because I think it's misleading to the consumer. Um,
absolutely. And there's definitely potential
yeah,
for danger,
and they
right?
use words you can't really use, like healing. Like FDA restricts even verbiage you can use on
Okay.
non-drugs. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that
Okay.
drives me nuts.
Next
And
question.
the cost of things, I guess, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, next question. If you had your own product, maybe it's that serum, what would you call it?
Hmm. I think I would call it. I don't know. Like I'm hearing the Johnny Depp cologne in my head right now, but nothing that fancy. Probably more like maybe just my initials, like
Okay.
a lot of like Mitchell. He used his own name, that kind of thing.
Uh
Probably my own name,
huh.
and then
Okay.
like serum.
Okay. Oh, that's good. You've
Right.
never thought about this stuff before, have you?
I never, not really, no.
Um, what's the strangest ingredient you ever worked with or learned that it was being worked with or included in formulas?
Skunk musk. It's used a lot in fragrances.
No way.
Yeah, the odor of a skunk is useful in fragrance houses like Javaden or Aerolescence. They actually use small amounts of that to adjust some notes in the
Musky,
smell.
yeah. How funny. So it's like when you cook and you use a little bit of garlic, it just
Right,
enhances the flavor.
right.
Who
Like a touch of
knew?
Tabasco, where it
Well,
brings out the
yeah.
flavor.
So I
Um,
might not be so stressed out if I encounter a skunk. I might just
yeah,
decide that I'm just
fragrance. It's real expensive.
going with the trend. I'm sure it smells great to other skunks too. So,
Oh yeah,
right.
that's so fun to do.
Let's see. Do cosmetic chemists, test the products on themselves?
I have rubbed things in my eyes to make sure they don't burn.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always used myself or my family as like my wife. I brought her stuff to try, and she'll tell me, this is terrible or this is really
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've made surfactants like shampoos and things like that, like hand soap, that I've actually rubbed in my eyes, or like baby shampoo,
Okay.
just to see if it causes any stinging, if I need to adjust things, pH or maybe salt content, something like that.
Okay. And
Yeah, I would definitely use ourselves.
those products did or did not have skunk musk in them.
It may have some of the fragrance. Yeah,
we have skunks right here at the property. I can bring you a skunk if you need some skunk musk.
Yeah, they're definitely tested on humans.
Okay. That's funny.
But by the people that are making it. Yeah,
okay.
Sure. Yeah.
If you could have collaborated with any celebrity, I don't guess there's like celebrity chemists, but a celebrity or brand, if you could have collaborated with someone that you didn't get a chance to, L'Oreal, that's already pretty top notch, but during your career, if you could have collaborated with someone that was, again, considered a celebrity on a product line or a particular product, who would it have been and why would it have been that entity?
I would say, well, Cindy Crawford would have been awesome for many reasons. But I think I always kind of wanted to work on the Paul Mitchell line. I've always thought that was a really good product, and I'm not, honestly, I'm not sure how it is now, but back in the day, that would have been interesting. He's like a celebrity, I guess.
Hairdresser.
Yeah,
that's at least that's how I know the name.
Right.
Yeah. Anytime I've been someplace to get my hair cut, there's the shelves full of all the. Or it's been a long time. I usually just do my own hair now, but back in the day, that was everywhere. So, oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Look, Cindy Crawford again. The name alone, you associate it with quality, with health and beauty and authenticity. She's always come across as just a very genuine person. And so, yeah, what a coup for anyone that signs her on as a spokesmodel or spokesperson for a product, because because people automatically want it because of what they associate her with. So, yeah, too bad somebody else
Oh,
got her.
I was so close. Maybe in a parallel universe.
If your employer just listened to you, that could have been something on your to-do list. What do you think is more challenging, creating formulas that work or coming up with catchy names that will be more marketable?
Marketing would ask us to do a product like brief, I guess, and we would kind of come up with our own sciencey nerd, catchphrases or marketing campaign. And then a lot of the times marketing just took that over.
You didn't get a say anyway.
Right, not really.
Yeah.
And coming up with formulations is a challenge sometimes. Some of the products are really complicated. How to process and manufacture, especially like a larger scale.
Okay.
So both are challenging. Yeah.
Okay. And I want to go back to something you said about some elements that are not absorbed into the skin, or they're not readily absorbed into the skin. Can they be combined with other things that make them more readily absorbable? Like I'm thinking of how vitamin C can kind of break down cellular walls so that you get more of whatever other thing it is you're taking. Is that true with some of those botanicals and things or products that they have great effects, but they don't penetrate the skin very well?
Some of the moisturizers are more, they stay on top. They don't really go much deeper than just the epidermis. Those are okay. But usually the stuff that penetrates actually does something physiologically rather than just moisturizing and plumping.
Okay, surface. Yeah.
But there are definitely products that do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that these larger proteins, like if you break them down, they're called peptides, and those are decently okay at crossing the dermal barrier.
Okay.
And like you said, vitamin C. There's a form of that called ascorbyl palmitate, I believe is the name of it, and that crosses it's water soluble, so it doesn't turn brown like vitamin C does.
Right.
And that's a very good product too.
Is it a vitamin C derivative though?
Yes.
Okay. So next question: if science had a magic wand and you could create any impossible product, like it's impossible now, but science has a magic wand, what would you create and what would it do?
I think I would create the reversal of sun damage. UV light.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of disease processes that happen with that.
Okay.
Obviously, cancer, skin cancer, but something that could reverse epidural dermal damage.
Okay.
Because I think that is a lot. That's something that needs to be addressed in the future.
Yeah, it has a high impact on a lot of people. Yeah, that's awesome. Right.
There are some products that claim that it does it, but it needs to be more effective, I think.
Okay. I don't think I have too many other questions, but so I want to talk about now. You've turned a corner.
I have.
You're going to a new direction that sounds more to me like what you originally wanted to do way back when, but now you realize, oh, maybe that's not where I want to go, because you understand that it's not really gonna feed your spirit like it would have if it wasn't about money and all the hoops everybody has to jump through to be a doctor these days. So tell us what you are working on becoming right now.
I have been working on getting a BSN RN at UTA in Arlington.
Okay.
And I've been into that a few years, and I've kind of worked slowly. I've done some of the undergraduate stuff that I didn't have.
Okay.
Class here and there, and now I'm in full time in the upper division clinicals and lab work and that kind of thing.
Okay. And ultimately, what is it you want to do once these courses and
I just want to take care of people and serve people.
Okay.
honestly.
Is there a place, like if you could work in any facility in the world, like just snap your fingers and you're employed there, is there a place?
Probably John Hopkins or the Mayo Clinic.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be
awesome.
great.
Okay. Are you in a position, like if let's say you got a job at the Mayo Clinic, would you pack up and move and go work at the Mayo Clinic?
I would. My wife works from home, so that wouldn't be a problem.
Awesome.
I'd have to run it by her.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I meant
Yeah.
that when I included that you could do it. That meant
Right,
yes,
yeah,
she would be okay with that as well.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
And do you want to still specialize in any particular type of care or treatment?
I've pushed around ICU, I've pushed around med surge, that kind of thing. I don't know really. I think I want to get a little deeper in my clinicals and kind of see where I want to head, after I graduate.
Okay.
So I'm
And
not really sure.
I'm thinking I read somewhere you're considering becoming a nurse practitioner at some point.
I've considered that.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much more school I can take at my age. So, teaching an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, well, but what I think would be really appealing about that is that then you could, kind of set your own rules, have your own practice, and
kind of diagnose.
And not be so wrapped up in the red tape and bureaucratic stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Or even teaching nursing school, I'd be interested in that.
Okay, awesome. So now that you're not working full time, do your studies take up too much time for you to have hobbies or interests that don't relate to work?
Honestly, right now it's a lot of school time, but like I mentioned, my family has some property out in Brownwood. I used to hunt. Now I just take pictures. I kind of lost the bloodlust, I guess.
Different kind of hunting, yeah.
Yeah, different hunting, but just solitude in a deer stand, or that's really my hobbies right now. It's kind of getting away from the stress, I guess, and the academic vigor of what's happening in nursing school. So, yeah, just read a little bit. Of course, my wife and I have some TV shows we watch. It's kind of some are relaxing, some are pretty dramatic.
What's your favorite kind of stuff to watch?
I like. This is so average American, but I like Chicago Med and Chicago Fire.
Okay, obviously lots of people do. So
I guess it's very run of the mill. But every now and then we'll catch something like on HBO or Netflix or something like that.
And what do you like to read if you get a chance to read? And it's not
I like to read nonfiction history books and an occasional fictional novel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you have a favorite author?
I love Tom Clancy books for novels.
Okay.
And then anything history, whoever writes that, I don't know if there's really set authors for that too much, but reading about Native Americans, and I read a book recently about that in the Texas area, which was very interesting.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. And are you from a big family? Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids?
I do. I come from a family of 5. I have 2 older brothers.
Okay.
And my parents are still with us. Saw them last night for dinner.
Okay.
I have 3 children and 3 grandchildren.
Okay. Do they live close?
They do. They live within 20 miles of me. So that's blessed to have that.
And you don't have a lot of animals, but do you have pets now?
I do. I have 2 dogs. They're both golden retrievers.
Okay. That was my next question.
One is a puppy. She's about 8 months old. I guess 9 months old now, so she's a challenge. She likes to get into everything. But, my older dog, she's a senior dog. She's pretty laid back.
Yeah. You've been through the crash course, though, with the human kids now, so at least you've got something to work with there.
Some patience.
Right. So, school now, is that a big class? Like a lot of people in the class? Is it a very small class? How does that work?
Yeah, UTA is. It's kind of hard to get into UTA. I think it helped me that I'm an alumni already, and it's not a huge class, but it's not. I wouldn't call it small either. It's kind of a mid medium class.
Okay. And age-wise, where do you fit in with most of your classmates?
I am definitely the oldest in my semester I'm in right now.
Okay.
By a lot.
Okay.
A lot of my clinical group are about the age of my youngest kids.
Okay.
So they feel like children again.
Okay. That being said, do you feel like a lot of them look to you or come to you for, like, do they automatically think, oh, he's going to be able to figure this out? I'm going to see if he can help me with this, or.
Yeah, I think it being, women dominated. I'm the only guy, and there's only like 3 or 4 men that I see every week.
Okay.
But I think they kind of look to me like almost like a father figure, like it's gonna be okay.
That's kind of where I was going. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, kind of talk down some of the stress and that. Yeah,
do you like that?
I do. It's kind of like very fatherly, I guess. And
okay.
That's how they view me. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that'll be a huge advantage for you then once you're really practicing. I think that is how people are going to perceive you. Granted, if they come in and they're, 80 years old, that's not going to necessarily be the case. But for people that are younger, I think that'll be a blessing. And already you have a perspective and, a history and some experience that will allow you to treat people beyond whatever the physical thing is, whatever thing is broken or not functioning physically. So many people come in and there's a whole lot more to them than that thing.
Right. Yeah, I've definitely got some parenting skills and, learned a little as I've aged. And,
yeah, that's good. I hope.
Yeah.
We should all hope for that. At least a little. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I would ask you, do you have any questions for me? Is this the first time you've done an interview?
It is. I was nervous.
You're awesome.
Yeah, great.
Right, you told me before the show that you were nervous about it. But how did it go? What are you feeling right now?
I feel right at home.
Yeah. I really like to make it feel like we met for coffee someplace.
Yeah.
And I'm just picking your brain about who you are and what you do and what you've done and where you're going.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah, we just met up and chatted.
I just really think a lot of times people can be inspired. I'm inspired that you have had a whole career and now you're moving into a new career. So you can't say, oh, I'm too old. I'm too old now to even think about going into medicine, whatever position that might be. And that's very inspiring. And I also know that I cannot be the only person who really never thought about what happens with all the ingredients in my little tube of whatever it is I just bought.
Right.
How does that happen? How does somebody decide how to put that together and make it do what it's supposed to do? And so this was fascinating to me. Again, as soon as you responded and said what you used to do, I thought, I've never even thought of that. Duh. Who would think? I don't know what I thought. I don't know. Maybe I just thought, okay, well, a lot of these products have been around so long now, just all these new companies come in and they just kind of match it. They just kind of make one to copy it. And I never thought about just the technical side of that. So it's a really fascinating blend of science and beauty and, and health, skin health and so this was everything I wanted it to be for you to be on the show, because I learned a lot. And again, I think people will watch and they'll be inspired by your story, whether you thought you were going to come and be inspiring or not. And you did great. You're very well spoken. You seemed really relaxed. So I was prepared to have to do a whole bunch of warm up stuff, just to get you to talk.
Get me going.
But I really have had a lot of people tell me before the show starts, I'm kind of nervous or I'm really nervous. And I don't know, I'm a talker and a performer. I'm a singer. So being in front of people and it has never been necessarily an uncomfortable thing for me. but I've learned not to take it for granted that not everybody's going to be as comfortable with that. So my job is to just visit. Like hey, I just ran into you down at Sam's Club and I'm asking you what's going on. So
that's been great. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you had a good time, and you did great.
Great.
So I think that's all I have for you today.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get you back again once you're really out of school and you're doing your new thing, and we can touch base and share with people how that's going and if it's turning out the way you hoped it would.
That sounds great. I got your number and you got mine.
Yes, thank you, Brett. This was such a treat for me.
Great.
I think three or four other people from the group from that one post now that are going to be on the show.
Great. Yeah, I saw
so many. Like a couple of them, I never even heard of that line of work. So I'm just like a kid now. I'm a kid in school again now, learning some new things. So this was great. I had a great time, and I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to let you go. I'll wrap up my show. And again, I'll touch base with you, or you let me know once you're farther along in school. Maybe we'll get you back for an update.
Okay, right? Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, Brett.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, that was Brett McCain, a neighbor of mine. Let me say hello to some people in the chat. I had my little list of questions up and it was blocking the chat. So hello, Joe and Sue at the Bud Files. Hey, Kevin at Tuber Chat. And thanks for the share, Kevin. That was Brett McCain, who is now retired from his career as a cosmetic and pharmaceutical chemist. Who's heard of that? Raise your hand if you are already familiar with that profession, because this was a fun learning experience for me. And I'm not going to take it so for granted. I'm a label reader anyway. So when I buy a product, I do look at the ingredients in the label, but it just never clicked with me that somebody somewhere has to figure out how to blend those things to make them work and make them safe and make them not burn your eyes. And I never thought of that. How silly is that? That's part of why I love doing the show, because I do meet a lot of people that give me some perspective I didn't have before. And it makes me appreciate things maybe that I didn't appreciate before, or at least gives me a greater appreciation for some things, even if I knew a little bit about it. But so for any of you science nerds, my geeky friends, maybe you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life or in your career, maybe that's something you would enjoy. I think it would be fun. It sounds like it would be fun. You know, I like cooking and baking and mixing ingredients that way. So to me, it doesn't seem like a stretch to apply some of the same concepts to mixing ingredients to form skincare products. Maybe I'm wrong, but you're still creating something. I just get a real kick out of that. So that was our guest for today. Next week, we have professional beekeeper Stephen Ross will be on the show. I know a lot of you in the homestead world raise bees. You've got bees on your property, but I really wanted to branch out and connect more with some people that I might actually interact with in my real life here, and give them a voice and a shout out and some encouragement. So I hope you'll join me next Friday. The Friday after that is Halloween. I will have a Halloween episode. I am working on getting some collaborators. So we'll have some cameos by some other content creators, some other just friends of mine in real life, friends and family in real life. And we'll have some games. We are going to do some Mad Libs. I think it's Erica Olson. Who is it that has so many times in the chats when I'm looking for ideas to do for a fun stream, she says, Mad Libs, you could do Mad Libs. So we're going to do some Mad Libs. I'm going to find some Halloween Mad Libs, and we'll do that together on that Halloween stream. I will be in costume. You're welcome to be in costume. It will be an open stream. So if you want to come on screen, maybe you're in a costume, maybe you want to come tell a funny Halloween story, or if you've got some pictures, I might share some pictures of when the kids were little and their costumes and things like that. you're welcome to do that. So more about that as we get a little bit closer. And then Dr. Lawson will be with us that first Friday in November. She's our equine vet. She takes care of Cabo and Delilah here at the ranch, and she will be on the show that day. So again, for you homesteaders out there, or people that have equines in the family, be sure to be here. If you've got questions you can, that you wanted someone to answer for you, she'll be here and ready to do that. And we'll learn about her journey becoming an equine specialist. I'm sure veterinarians all start out kind of in the same path, just like other medical people. And then at some point you make a decision that you're going to specialize, and then there's some additional training in your specialty. So we'll learn about that from her. She's so cute. She's so fun. She's very personable. And I know you'll love that show. The following Friday right now, I think, is when I have my sound therapist scheduled. There was a new, I didn't know about that profession. So she'll be with us on the 14th of November. And then we'll finish off November with an aviation attorney. Again, didn't even know that was a specialty. I don't think there's any profession anymore where there aren't specialties within the big umbrella of that profession. So we'll have an aviation attorney with us on the 21st. I won't be doing a live stream on the 28th because that's the week of Thanksgiving. And so I might do a show, but we'll have an interview, and but I'm thinking I'm not even going to do a show, just because, we're usually still all loaded up with tryptophan, and we just want to lay around and digest our food for a few days after Thanksgiving. So you may not see me on the 28th. And then I have, on the first Friday in December, a cybersecurity and scam specialist. Now, this one is special to me because this is a longtime friend of mine that I met through Geezer Gamers. I'm a gamer, and I'm a part of the Geezer Gamers community. And he and I met way back in like 2005 when Xbox Live became a thing. So initially we met online, playing Halo together in our Geezer Gamer community. But then I met him live and in person at the first Geezer Gamers convention in Las Vegas in 2006. And then we met again in 2007. And so I've seen him. We've kept up with each other. He's a Facebook friend of mine. And I've, watched him go through lots of changes in his life. And I'm thrilled that he is going to come and share some really important information and tips with us pertaining to cybersecurity and being safe from scams. So mark your calendars for that one. I don't have any other dates already booked, but I have sent out a string of emails, and I'll have more people for you to meet before the year ends. So just check in with me on Fridays at 1:30 and see who's going to be with us. All is well here at the ranch. We had a lot of technical issues with sound last night on the live with Rich and Kat. Now, I thought they sounded like they were glitching and having problems here in the studio. But when I went back to watch the episode, I don't think it was as bad as I thought it was. But it had been a really frustrating and stressful day. I won't go into all the details. Nothing to do with me or Rich, an outside entity. And I did feel kind of crunched for time because I had been asked a couple of weeks ago to tend to a client's animals. She's got 2 donkeys, 2 goats, a barn cat, and 14 chickens. They just live like walking distance from us. But not only does it take a little while to take care of that many animals, I like to spend time with animals. So it's a big treat for me to get to go over and take care of her animals. And so I just knew I was kind of crunched for time because it's getting dark so early. So since the Thursday show runs from 6 to 7, that meant I was really going to have to try to wrap it up. We ended up ending the show a little bit before 7 anyway. And we didn't do some of the things I had planned. But that's the beauty of live streams. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow because you can't control, what's happening around you. So you'll see still some of the other stuff that we had planned. We might just make a video about it. And check out the little video I put up I think it was Wednesday. It's very short, but it's a true story. It was a news story to me about a dog from Seattle whose name was, oh my gosh, what was her name? Eclipse, the Black Labrador. So check that out. Again, it's super short. This Sunday night's movie. So we're doing a classic movie night every Sunday night at 7:30 here. This Sunday night's movie is the Agatha Christie novel turned into a movie, and Then There Were None. I've seen it, but it's been so long ago that I couldn't really tell you much about it. So I will be excited to watch it again. So I've got the first 6 films. Last Sunday was our first one. That was a movie I had never seen or heard of before. And that's part of my objective. First objective is I've got to find public domain films that I can share. But second objective has been to find movies that are new to me so that it's even more fun for me to share them with y'all. So, and Then There Were None is not necessarily new to me, but I'm telling you, it's probably been 45 years since I've seen it. Maybe longer ago than that. So tune in for that one. I'm really tickled to see how many people have watched last Sunday's movie, because when I see that people are watching, I know it means it's something they're interested in and that they're enjoying. And so I hope that will be true for this Sunday as well. It's about time to do a cook and chat. So Richard and I are going to put something together. I really want to make some pumpkin stuff. I love pumpkin spice season. And I'm saving all these recipes I'm finding on Facebook, or, I log on to the internet, and then there's sometimes there's just all the headlines, just weird, random stuff. And obviously there's a lot of pumpkin recipe stuff coming up right now. So I've got a couple of pumpkin recipes. Oh my goodness. So there's like these mini pumpkin cheesecake things. They're like made in muffin cups. Oh, they just sound so good. And I really do love pumpkin everything. Pumpkin pie is my favorite kind of pie. I don't eat a lot of it. That would be really bad. But I want to make some pumpkin stuff. So be watching for a video making some pumpkin stuff. And in my mind, I'm going to do like 3 pumpkin recipes. One of them is those mini cheesecakes. I'm seeing a lot of things about how pumpkin and chocolate are kind of a thing now. And I don't know why that's not appealing to me. I love chocolate. I love pumpkin. But I'm having a hard time. If you've had pumpkin and chocolate together, let me know. Is that really as awesome as these articles and people writing these recipes are making it sound? Because it just seems weird to me. I guess because I've never had it. And if you say it really is good, then I'll try it. I don't know if Richard will eat any of this stuff because he's not a pumpkin fan. Even the dogs like pumpkin, but Richard doesn't eat pumpkin. He's a pecan pie fan. That's his favorite pie. What else is happening? You heard it here first. I think I've touched on this before. We never meant for this property to be our forever property. And we're kind of in the beginning stages of considering a move. One of the determining factors on when that might happen will be our girl Serena. She has degenerative myelopathy. And she's still eating and she's still social, but she is having a lot of trouble getting around. So physically, it's taking a toll on her. The doctors assured us it's not a painful thing, but she's losing more and more function in her hind end. So we're not ones to wait until it's so bad that there's no choices anymore. But I feel like we're going to have a lot of lasts with her this holiday season. Her last Thanksgiving will likely be this year. Her last Christmas and New Year's with us will likely be this year. I hear her coming now. Did you hear your name? Oh, she can't really hear anymore. That's kind of a new development. I don't think that has anything to do with the degenerative myelopathy, but I might make a video about the degenerative myelopathy. It's very common in German Shepherd dogs. And so maybe that would be helpful for anyone else that is dealing with it or might have to deal with it. It's our first German Shepherd dog diagnosed with degenerative myelopathy. I knew about it. We've had friends. We've had dogs stay with us that were afflicted. But it's the first time we've dealt with it. So we're covering all the bases here. We had, we lost our boy Bandit to a brain tumor. He was a white shepherd. We lost our boy Cooper to hemangiosarcoma. He was a classic black and tan shepherd. And hemangiosarcoma, another thing that's, so high on the list for German shepherd dogs. And degenerative myelopathy. Again, very not a surprise to have a German shepherd dog that has degenerative myelopathy, but it's our first time to deal with it, so I may chronicle that for y'all. About time to do a cover. I know I haven't recorded a cover in a long time, and I still have plans to do my Singing Through the Decade series for the 90s. Haven't done that yet. I have some big ideas, some things that I think would be fun, but it's just going to take a little bit of planning, and so it's on the to-do list in case you've been wondering. If you haven't checked out those other videos, I've done the 60s, 70s, and 80s already. So check those out. And it's beautiful weather today. I think I started off by talking about the weather, didn't I? But it's supposed to be stormy potentially this weekend. So I'll keep you posted on that. But I'll let you go. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks to Brett for being my guest today. And it's never too late. If you've been dreaming of a career, go for it. Okay, I think that's it. I'll turn you loose. I love you all. Be safe, be happy, be well, and I will see you in the next video or live. Bye, friends.
you.